Uncle. Super Mario Brothers Galaxy came out this last night. Did my theater review. I stand by a little bit what I said. I have changed my tune a little bit. Okay, and I'll explain how I changed my tune. Overall, I had a good time in the movie. I don't think it's as good as the first one. The first one's a little bit tighter of a film, but it is a fun ride, especially if you are a fan of Nintendo Nintendo Mario, that world, and you get a kick out seeing a lot of the Easter eggs for different characters, which I mean a lot of people I think do. That said, there is I think like two problems. My girlfriend kind of jokes like, it's like watching that first Mario movie. It's like it's like how everyone said the AI is going to take over and all that. I'm like, no, honey. The second movie feels like AI is going to take over and procedurally generate a script. One of the biggest problems with this film, I think, personally, is the fact that it is not very well paced. It does feel like the story is just jumping from beat to beat to beat to beat, and the through lines are not that strong. I mean, your base story is Bowser Jr. is. There was like a leak a while ago that said, or someone said Wario was the main villain, but no, that's not the case. It is Bowser Jr. who's the main villain. Bowser Jr. comes to get his dad, and destroy not just the Mushroom Kingdom, but essentially the universe by kidnapping Rosalie. And it's their job to stop him, but they're going through different worlds, all that, and trying to get to Bowser, the world of Bowser, the planet Bowser. I can't remember if that's what they actually called it or not. Whatever. Now, along the way, also there's Bowser kind of trying to reform. There's also Princess Peach trying to learn who she is. There's Mario having feelings for Princess Peach, but us not actually doing anything with that. There's Rosalie and the Star Children. There's like at least 5 or 6 plot points going on in this film. And it really seems all over the place. Like the resolutions for certain things are just so weak as to just not be brought up at all, unless you're saving it for the next movie. The whole connection, the Princess Peach's backstory for anyone who didn't know the Mario lore, which could be a lot of people, so I'm not going to spoil it, is like, oh, yeah, we probably could have put that together. Like, it's not that big of a reveal, sadly. So it just kind of doesn't go anywhere. And it also begs the question of like, wait, if this is the case, why are you just kind of like stuck here? Can you not leave this place? Why didn't you go there and deal with it? Like, there's just questions it raises that doesn't work. But beyond that, that it makes it less. That doesn't work. That's not the right way to put it. That makes it a little harder to engage with in terms of a story element. But the other problem this film has, and I do think this is arguably the biggest problem, it goes with the multiple plots that aren't quite working, but more to the point, it's not well paced. There are scenes that we get a decent amount of time. There's like the casino world, which is like the entire room is one giant casino. You can just keep walking up, which is cool. And that scene goes on for a while. But then you get just these short interlude scenes with Mario and Bowser and Luigi and Yoshi. Like the whole Yoshi thing is the beginning of the film where they find Yoshi. Well, actually, the beginning of the film is the thing you see in the trailer with Rosalie, where they come to kidnap Rosalie. Excuse me. Oh, gotta crack the neck a bit. But then afterwards, it's them meeting Yoshi. And then it's like, oh, there's this plot point element of a birthday, which, okay, fine. It's like they're just stringing things along to get to the end, which ultimately it kind of just ends. That's the other thing. Whereas the first movie actually had a built-in ending where they're in the plumber's world, or they're in the Mushroom Kingdom working and living, and if it has a solid, this one just kind of ends. Like, okay, we get a moment. We get one thing. It's like, yeah, like, oh, okay, that's how it ends. So, beyond that, it feels like everything is on fast forward a little bit. Not like, but it just feels like everything is the pace is just, we got to get through this, we got to get through this, we got to get through this, we got to get through this. Like, that's kind of what it feels like a bit. So I didn't. It wasn't like I was struggling to follow what was going on, but if I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling to care as much this time around. Like, I didn't really feel anything for the Princess Peach backstory thing. Princess Rosalie, I'm like, well, you know you're gonna get her back, so I'm not really all that concerned for Princess Rosalie. In fact, I'm not really concerned about anyone. The only people I actually felt concerned for, because I like their characters, are Bowser Jr. and Bowser himself. Bowser, I was wondering, I couldn't remember who voiced Bowser Jr. at first. It's Benny, was it Safdie? And obviously Jack Black voices Bowser. They are the best part of the film. Like, Bowser actually has a bit of a character arc in this, to some varying degrees. And Bowser Jr. is actually a fun character for what it's worth. And of course, you get Kamen back. There's plenty of cameos, including, as I mentioned in the out of the theater reaction or out of theater review, Glenn Powell, who voices Fox McCloud. And they announced that, and I heard people say, "Oh no, he's actually not important to the film." It's kind of like he's kind of wasted. They say. I wouldn't say he's wasted. He is more than just a glorified cameo for one scene. He actually does serve at least they try to make him serve a point. He does have a plot relevancy for being there, surprisingly. But in the long scheme of things, could you have just gotten to where you got in the story without him? Sure. But was it cool to have Fox McCloud in the movie? Absolutely. And I liked Glenn Powell's voice for him, too. I also like the way they characterized Fox McCloud. I would be down for a Star Fox movie. I would be. From the little bit I saw this, I think they actually had a really good characterization for him. Beyond that, though, like I said, there is a lot of fun in this movie. Like, the action sequences are fast, but not too fast. They're quick, energetic, peppy. There's a lot. We get to see like more power-ups, especially for like the later games that we didn't originally see. It looks fantastic. This is a far better looking film than the first film was. And the first one was a good looking film. It's bright, colorful. It looks good. But this is because of the galaxy aspect, we took it up a notch. 3D, this on 3D would look fantastic. You know what? I'll also say this: they did not go with the 80s, like the 80 pop song soundtrack in this one, like they did in the original. I'm not saying you still couldn't have some of those songs, like some modern songs, but pop songs in there from the 80s. I think one or two still could have worked, but I will admit it was better to just hear the actual music, and there was musical tones in there too. Hell, at one point in the pyramid where they're fighting Yoshi, it almost sounded like Indiana Jones at one point. But I am glad they kind of pulled back on it. I think there are still like one or two actual songs in the film, but overall it's more Mario music, and I appreciated that as well. I still like Mario. I know people's kind of soured on Chris Pratt a little bit probably due to a combination of overexposure and some of his like personal beliefs on certain things, or at least because of his religion. Apparently there's some sourness on there. Mark apparently is not as big a fan of him as he used to be, but I think he still works as the voice of Mario. I like Charlie J a lot as Luigi. I will admit though, for characters like Yoshi, it's Donald Glover who voices Yoshi. Was there any real point in getting Donald Glover to voice Yoshi? Look, Yoshi, I could do a Yoshi impression, and you could probably pay me half as much. Oh, you could probably pay me a tenth, and I'd be happy. Like, I can do it. Most people can do a Yoshi impression. So why would you have to get Donald Glover, who you would never know voiced Yoshi? At least with Kevin Michael Richardson, if you knew his voice, you could guess maybe he was Kamek. Sorry, you could maybe guess it. You could definitely hear Charlie Day and Luigi, Jack Black and Bowser, Chris Pratt and Mario. I don't know what Benny Safdie's voice normally sounds like, so I can't speak for that. I remember, I had to stop and think, but yes, I remember that Princess Rosalie is Brie Larson. Brie Larson's Princess Rosalie. But yeah, I don't know why, but still, all the voice acting is still good. Like I said, the action sequences are fun. The last action sequence particularly is a lot of fun, specifically because of the reference. I'm like, when I saw what happens in the scene, I'm like, oh wait, are we gonna? And sure enough, I'm like, oh, we're getting this, yeah. So that was a lot of fun. There are two. Well, there's there's a direct after the credit scene and like the main credit scene, and then there's a post credit scene, a very brief post credit scene that ties back to a scene earlier in the film. That's kind of like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie where it's revealing a character. But overall, I still had a good time with it. This film's gonna make bank. I don't know if it'll make as much as the original because right now its reviews are not the best. What are its reviews currently at? That's a good question. Where's my okay? Rotten Tomatoes. What is Super Mario Galaxy's box office at right now, or a score at right now? What's its rating? Excuse me. Let's see here now. All right. So currently, ooh man, it's dropped. Last time it was like at 48. Now it's at 40%. But 90% of the audience have gone to see it out of how many verified right now? Audience members, it's got to be a couple hundred at least. Out of over 250, out of 2,500, 90% of the audience like it. And really, when a movie like this, that's where the money's coming from. I mean, granted, that's always where the money comes from, but especially for a family animated kids film, that's where the money's coming from, 100%. And if 90+% is what you're getting, this film's going to do well. I have no idea what's going to open up on. The original opened up on like in the 140s. I think it's like 146. So, and right now I know it's open. It opened earlier. It's one of those films that actually opened in the middle of the week. It actually opened Wednesday. So it's made about 35 million so far as I know. The question is, I can't remember. Do we count that towards opening weekend, or are we just looking at the 3-day number? I think we just look at the 3-day numbers. So, and I doubt the Thursday box office has been updated yet. Let's see here, 1 second. Double checking right now. And I'll talk about a few of the extra trailers we got in just a second. No, Thursday has not been updated as of late. Oh no, sorry. No, that's Project Hail Mary. Sorry. So yeah, Wednesday made 34 million. Like it's gonna have a huge opening week, not just a weekend, but a huge opening week. Again, it's going to be what the long term looks like. That's the question. Now, luckily, actually, let's actually sing it because I'm trying to think of trailer. I know we got the Minions trailer, the Minions and Monsters trailer, which frankly does look like silly fun. That Forbidden Island or Forgotten Island coming out later this year. That actually looks really interesting because it's DreamWorks, but it feels weirdly like a Pixar film, but it also feels a little bit like K-pop Demon Hunter. So yeah, I'm actually down for that. Let me see here right now. So this is this week, the 3rd. Next week would be the 7th, 10th, which means we got Yumi and Tuscany and the Faces of Death, not hurting Mario whatsoever. Then the following weekend, we got Lee Crone's The Mummy. Again, not doing a damn thing to Mario. Okay, Michael is I honestly forgot Michael was coming out. But Michael is a weird anomaly one. Because apparently it's tracking for like an $80 to $90 million opening. It's probably going to be a big opening. It might even dethrone Mario from the number 1 spot because it's going to be 3 weeks in at that point. But I don't know how well that film's actually going to do. I don't know how, I doubt it's going to really hurt it, just because we're looking for things that are going to basically be, similar type of movie going audience. And then the following week, you got May 1st, which Devil Wears Prada, Animal Farm, yes, is animated. It's from Angel Studios, so I don't think you're going to get the same type of Animal Farm you get in the book. So I really don't think it's going to work well. Sheep Detectives, Mortal Kombat 2. Sheep Detectives could hurt it a bit. Honestly, straight out, I'm just going through as much as I can. The one that would probably hurt it the most is Mandalorian and Grogu, because Star Wars is a 4-quadrant franchise. But honestly, that's not even guaranteed. We did get the new Masters of the Universe trailer, which on a second watch I liked more. I will admit the effects on like something like Cringer need some work. but I did like it. But yeah, honestly, you're not getting. So we got the new Supergirl trailer too, although it's a little edited. Like, aren't you that ditz for the die part? Then I was thinking about the same about you. Touche. Look, I'm down. But yeah, there's just not a huge amount. Okay, if we're looking at the next big animated family-ish film, I'm not saying Mario's going to be in theaters up until this point, but if we're really looking at that, straight up, Toy Story 5, which you got the trailer for as well, June 19th is the next true big animated film that comes out. Again, you do have Animal Farm, but again, that's going to be very small. It's based off a book that's not for kids, and they're making an animated Angel Studios version of it. That is just weird to me. I really don't hate Angel Studio at all, actually. I actually very much admire what they've been able to do. Again, I kind of liken them to what Pureflix wants to, what the Pureflix thinks it is. And because they do a lot of religious-based stuff, but they also do a lot of non-religious-based stuff. We actually also have that Young Washington film coming out. Probably won't see it, but we got that film coming out from Angel Studio. They are very quietly making a name for themselves in the industry, and I'm very much respectful towards it. The last Angel Studios film I saw, and I don't see many, was that Sketch movie, and I did like it. It had problems, yes, but I did like it. It was a surprisingly decent little film. But yeah, if we're talking about the thing that would directly compete with Super Mario Brothers, and I mean directly, it would be Toy Story 5. In terms of IP, the popularity of it, an existing franchise, animated, the exact same type of franchise, it would be Toy Story 5 that would be the one that theoretically dethrones it. Mind you, no matter how big Super Mario Brothers Galaxy is, it will not be number one by the time we get to that. I'll have to wait and see what the box office looks like, and particularly what next week's box office looks like to see what our drop-offs are going to be. But if I had to just guess that, let's just assume for a moment that it opens to, let's say it just opens at 150. Very reasonable. It's more than what the first one opened up on. Say 150. Because there are no other strong anime films out right now, or let me rephrase that, because Hoppers is now in its like 7th week or something like that, and I mean, Goat is long since now running on empty. Like, there's little left in the tank for Goat. Hoppers would be the only thing that's really stealing any like thunder from it. And even then, it's not going to be a lot. So you're not looking at any of the drop-offs or any. Not looking at anything that Hopper is doing. You're looking at what the rest of it's going to do. It would probably be number one the following week because nothing that's coming out is going to hurt it. My guess, even if I could maybe say lowball it at maybe 80 million at best for the drop-off because that'd be under 50%. Then the following week, you have Lee Cron's The Mummy. Could open big. I doubt it. So I would still put Mario Brothers number one. But then Michael comes out. So Michael is going to be where it loses its number one spot. But I could be dead wrong on that. Maybe some miracle happens. Who knows? Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.